Today we're going to be taking a tour of this preschool classroom at the Bodwin Preschool. There are 10 children who are between 3 and 5 years of age with a teacher and 3 teacher assistants. I want you to notice the welcoming feel outside the classroom, and so this teacher has posted an early beginning of the year project about the children's family tree, and so every morning if a mom or a dad drops their child off, they see their family recognized. This teacher also has all the notices for parents in terms of the schedule, if there are parent groups, the parent training and support calendar for the month, as well as any other important information. And she also has displayed some of the children's work in the area of math. And so this project was called Math Bugs, and we've got a written explanation of what that project was supposed to do, what the objectives were, and then samples of the students' work here. Join with me as we come into this classroom, and I want to share all of the wonderful things this teacher has done. The children are gone for the school year, but this class has been reset now so that when the children return for summer session, extended school year, the class is ready to go. I want you to notice that at this point, the teacher has changed out her board where she has the schedule for the summer, the zoning plan for the summer, her lesson plans to begin. And so she has gotten all of that preparation ready so that when the children come back and the teacher aides come back, everybody knows what is going to be happening. So as in some of the other classrooms that you've seen, when the children come in, the first thing they do is go through their arrival routine. And we have our arrival strip that the children follow so that they come in, they unzip their backpacks, their lunch boxes are placed in this bin over here. They take out their folder that has any communication or notices from their parents. The home note has been returned with the back that the parents fill out. And then they put their backpacks away in the cubby that has their name on it. They're then directed to the schedule, or for the children who are not using now the all-day schedule, they will go right here to their table task area. This teacher does a really good job of creating schedules within the whole day schedule. And so this is the list of activities that, in this case, Alexander is going to do first thing in the morning. He's going to look at his day book, do some writing and drawing there, a puzzle, a file folder activity, and then have free choice here at the area where the students do their table tasks. Each of the children has an individual schedule and either a folder of work that they're going to do or a basket of work that they're going to do, depending on how much structure each of the children needs and what the tasks are that the teacher has assigned them to do during this time. One of the things that I want you to notice is that although all of the children are using picture schedules made out of board maker symbols, this child is still operating under a system where he has a single picture for each of the activities and comes back to this schedule area between them all. And then he does have center strips for the center time rotations. And that's the time the children are rotating through a variety of small group activities like teacher work and the play area, independent work, computer, art, activities like that. All of the rest of the children in the class are using the group schedule, which this teacher has posted here by the door. So more like what you would see in a traditional kindergarten or other early childhood classroom, where all the children in the classroom are referring to the same schedule, with the exception, and you can see it easily here, that they are all using the center strip rotation schedule. And what they will do is they will come to this area once at the beginning of the rotation, take their schedule and take it with them as they rotate to each of the 3 activities. Now this one is set up for work with the teacher, art time, and then independent work. Okay, let's take a look at some of the small group areas of the classroom. This first is the area that this teacher has set up as the library area. And so she's limited the number of books that the children have available to them at any given time. And she has set them up to be books that the children are very interested in and will be motivated in. And she's using the blue cube chairs in this area. You can see that as we go through the room, we have a variety of different types of seating that we use. And here she's using the cube chairs that give the children a little more stability and structure by having the arms and kind of a bucket design. Each of our areas, like the library, has a check-in area so that when children are using individual schedule pieces, when they get to the area they're going to, they're able to check in by putting their schedule piece here. You can also see that this teacher has posted class rules in several different areas. So for example, here in the independent work area, we have the class rules, which are listen, hands down, quiet, and sit. And those rules are also posted in the morning meeting and story time area, which we're going to see in a few minutes. This teacher has set up her area so that there are 3 different tables, and there are either 3 or sometimes 4 children. She might have 2 children sharing a table, but generally 3. She has the area, the table listed with each of the students who will be at that station when when their turn is here during the center rotations. For this child, for example, this child has some more skills than some of the other children and is doing some more paper pencil work. And she's using a file folder to organize it with work to do on the left side, and the child moves that work to the finish side when they're done with it. And so it looks more like we're getting the child ready for independent work in an kindergarten or elementary school classroom. Other children will follow a schedule that asks them to match some symbols. And so in that case, the symbol will be here on the schedule strip, and the task would be here. And the student matches the symbols, does the work. In this case, it's a car puzzle. When it's done, that work goes in the finish basket. And when all the tasks are done, the student has a choice. And so there is a bin with different sensory and manipulative materials, and the child is able to choose something that he likes to do when he's done. So it might be, in this case, for a child who likes trucks and cars, this would be what they would pick. All of the extra tasks are organized and stored well in this shelving unit. These kinds of shelves are very helpful in an independent work area because some teachers might organize it so that each child has either a column or a row of the bins. So she can be prepared with either 4 or 5 different tasks for each student, depending on whether she's organizing it vertically or horizontally. And again, this is independent work where students really practice tasks that they have mastered in direct instruction from the teacher. The data collection notebook is here so that the aide who is supervising independent work is able to just, flip it open. The data sheets are grouped by the children that come to the area at the same time, and the teacher aide is able to take the data easily. Our next small group area is the pretend play area. Again, we have our check-in board as we have in all of the other areas. And in this case, we have data collection sheet on a clipboard ready to go for the beginning of extended school year with the goals that the children are working on during extended school year already printed on the data sheets, ready to go from the first day. We have a variety of communication supports from much simpler language levels to more complex language levels with different visual setups, but again, stored and available here in the area that they are used so that the teacher assistant or teacher who is supervising this area has access to those communication boards. We also have a template here on the table for children to take their pretend silverware and dishes and practice setting a table as they would in the home environment. And we have some other types of visual supports that revolve around setting the table. This smaller task strip, that would be simpler. And this one that asks the child to set up more things like salt and pepper shakers and additional material for pretend play revolving around food preparation or eating. This next area is the area where the teacher works individually or in small groups with each of the students around either their IEP goals or their curricular goals. We oftentimes use the rolling stools with for the staff because it allows them to move around quickly to provide the kind of prompting and support that each of the students need. In this area too, we see that the teacher is ready for first day of summer school, ESY. Her data sheet for what she's going to be working on during this time for each of the children is here. She has organized her materials for her 3 groups so that she has everything available. She has the task strip that goes with her instructional time. And all of her materials are labeled with the visuals that the students need. So for example, this is a box with reinforcing materials in it, and the children are able to make a choice. All of the materials in this shoebox are here, and they can use their requesting strip to say that they want the magnadoodle type material. So that kind of organization is in place throughout the room so that the children have the ability to make the kinds of requests and express their preferences to the adults in the classroom. Our next small group area is the computer center, and usually 2 and sometimes 3 children might be here with one of the teacher assistants. And we have interactive software for the children to practice skills that they've learned in other instructional settings. And we know that for many of our children on the spectrum, that they are very motivated and interested in technology. For some of them, it's a very high-level skill compared to some of the other skills they have. And so we have that interest that we use to build their skills. The area next to it is the area that is used for whole group instruction. Circle time in the morning and story time later in the day. And you can see that in this class, this teacher has differentiated their seating. So we have 4 children that are sitting in cube chairs, and we have 6 children who are able to sit on their marker on the carpet. And again, we're getting children ready for lesser structured and restrictive environments, but still recognizing that some of the children continue to need the support of furniture like the cube chairs. Again, we've got rolling stools for the aides, so that as the teacher is leading the circle time or story time activity, the aides are able to move rather quickly to provide the support that the students need and to back away when they don't need it any longer. Although if you look at this area, there is a lot of visual material on the walls and the window shades in the area. It is all material that is being used during either the morning meeting or the story time activity. And so we've got our visual supports for months of the year, for seasons, the calendar itself. We have the, again, within activity schedule, so during circle time, this is the order of the activities that are going to take place, and the teacher is able to show that those activities are completed by turning them over and going to the next one. That provides the routine and the structure that the children need to gain the internal control because they know the expectations of what's happening. This teacher also has all of the books that go along with the thematic units that cover the cover the entire year. And each of the books, she has the visual supports, again, the language expansion boards that go with the stories that she's reading, so that children who have limited expressive language are able to actually, use these cues to talk about things that relate to the book. This teacher has her behavior management system here, so the children are earning tokens, in this case stars, and they have choices. So many of the children are working to gain tokens to go to the treasure box. This student here is on a totally different system. He starts out the day with all of his tokens, and if he doesn't lose a certain number, he gets to ride the tricycle on the playground. So again, just like she's individualized seating, she has individualized the behavioral system for this student. Oftentimes, children on the autism spectrum do not do well with this type of system, which is called a response cost system. But in this case, for this student, it is effective. And the who came to school visual, again, so in this case, the teacher is able to just pull it off the wall when she needs it for the circle time activity, and it's accessible, she knows where it is, and it doesn't take any time to get it so that she has her materials where she needs them. And then the last area of the room is also the area that can handle the whole class at one time. You'll see that her 3 trapezoidal tables are set up as separate tables because she is trying to encourage conversation between the children in her room. She has some children who are quite verbal but need to learn to use those verbal skills appropriately. So instead of having one large table for all 9 or 10 children, she has 3 small tables in this area. This area is used for the table tasks we talked about in the beginning, but it's also used for snack time and lunchtime, and one of the tables is used for art during center rotation and one for pre-writing activities for center rotation. And as in the other areas, this teacher has her language expansion boards. This is for an individual child. And there are picture exchange communication books for other children who are non or minimally verbal. So again, you see the really strong differentiation that this teacher provides for her students. Each of the areas does have an explanation. In this case, this teacher has written about the different communication systems, picture exchange communication system here, and our check-in boards here. And as in the other areas, she has her data collection sheet for whatever skills are being taught in this area of the classroom. And you can see how efficient it is that she's not hunting for the data collection sheets that she needs, but they are each in the area that they're going to be used. I also want to point out organizationally that Kendra's got her task strip for hand washing right here by this sink, and above it she has emergency procedures. So her kind of health and safety things here, and then when codes are called in the school for either a child that needs some assistance medically or lockdown or things like that, the directions are right here, so she knows where that is. She also shows really good organization for her staff. So she's got listed all of the tasks that need to be completed at the end of the day. You know, one of the things I think when teachers are done and the students leave, they are, you know, ready to just relax a little bit. But Kendra's got her list of tasks that need to be done every day, and does a really nice job, I think, of alternating who is going to be responsible for what tasks, so that she's got the staff's names on, you know, movable Velcro dots, so everybody doesn't do the same tasks every day after school, but they get to share in some of the less preferred tasks too. And here she has posted allergies and other health issues, food issues that students have, so that the staff have it right in the area where those activities occur. The last area I want to show you inside this classroom is the bathroom area, and I think you can appreciate the strong organizational skills of this teacher. They extend also to this area. So because these are preschool children, each one has their change of clothes. Any that aren't toilet trained have extra you know, diapers or wipes also there. And then here in this kind of shoebox, shoe container, each student who has diapers or wipes or baggies, they are well organized also. She has her toileting social story to use when children are being toilet trained. The procedures for using the sanitizing solutions on surfaces and materials. And she's also got her visual task strips for both toileting as well as for washing hands. So the washing hand ones is by the sink, and the toileting one obviously next to the toilet. So I want to thank you for taking a tour of our classroom, and I hope that it has given you a lot of good ideas about how to set up and structure your own classrooms too.